Hey, this is Tayson from Outdoor Vitals. Today we're going to be talking about how to fit a backpack for your specific torso length, as well as some other comfort backpacking tips. All right, so we've got Riley here. He's gonna be our prop for the day. We're gonna measure his torso and then size a backpack specifically for him. As you can see, Riley is about 6'4". I'm a little bit shorter than him. You would think that his torso is bigger than mine, but it's not. So that's why it's really important that we measure our torsos and we get the backpack to fit specifically for us. So in order to do this, we're gonna have Riley face away from me, and you come up here to the top of his vertebrae. We're gonna be measuring from the first vertebrae that sticks out. So if he looks down with his chin, like tucking it to his chest, there's a vertebrae that's gonna pop right there. That's what we're gonna be measuring from. And then we're gonna come down to the top of his waist. So what you wanna do is you wanna take your hands in a cupping motion like this, stick it right on the very top of your hip bones. You're gonna put that right on the top of your hip bones. You're gonna point to the back so that I have a place to measure to. So with Riley, again, we're gonna go to that vertebrae right here, measure straight down his spine, and we come down to 18 inches. So as you can see, Riley is 6'4", I'm about 6'2", 6'3", and I have about a 20 to 20 and a half inch torso. Meanwhile, he's got an 18 inch. So it is important that you measure. Typically, Riley would have just got the backpack, thought, hey, I'm the tallest guy, so I'm gonna adjust the torso length the highest. That's not how we do this. So let's go ahead, grab the backpack, and we'll show you how to measure it on there now. Okay, so we're gonna measure this backpack. We've actually already sized it for him, and believe it or not, we're on the lower end of the adjustment. But what we're gonna do is you measure from about the top of where this is gonna start curving over your shoulders, and then you're gonna come down and you're gonna center the hip belt. So for him, right there, we're at 18 inches, so we've already got this sized appropriately for him. If this was not sized appropriately for him, the way you adjust this on a Rhyolite backpack is you actually Velcro that open, and then you can slide these out and put them onto different webbing rungs. So we've got this adjusted for his specific torso. We'll go ahead and tighten that down, and now we'll have him try this on. So step around here. Everything is really loose right now, so you're gonna loosen everything in the pack to begin with. So face me, let's have you face me. We're gonna start with, it's easiest to remember this by going from the bottom up. Bottom up whenever you're tightening this pack to make sure everything's fit. You can see everything's really loose on him. It doesn't look like it's fitting him good at all. That's okay. First off, what we're gonna do is we're gonna have him put his hip pads, and we're gonna have him put them about centered on his hip bones, right? So his hip bones are a little bit higher than most people, so that's riding up a little bit higher. He's gonna lean forward to take the weight of this backpack, because it is loaded, off of pulling him over backwards, so you can get that tightened comfortably. Just so you know also, we do wanna have weight in the pack. That helps us to make sure that we're getting it right. If there's no weight in the pack, then the pack can kind of feel right, even though it's not right. So we've got weight in the pack. He's got this centered on his hip bone right here. The next step is to tighten his shoulder strap. So I'm gonna go ahead and push this forward for him. And now he's gonna tighten his shoulder straps. So that looks good. His shoulder straps are now tightened. The last thing that he wants to do is reach up here to his load lifter straps, pull them at the same time so that as he's pulling them, he can keep them centered. He's not pulling one harder than the other. And he's gonna just tug those forwards and snug them right there. Perfect. Now you can see those are coming out on an upward angle, which is really nice. That's lifting the load off of his shoulder blades and helping everything to ride right on his hip bones. Last thing he's gonna do is he's gonna connect that sternum strap over to just keep everything secure. And now his backpack is fitted to his specific torso, and it's gonna ride a lot better. Now this doesn't mean it's gonna be perfect. Some people have a little bit different preferences. This is how you would start off. Let's say on the trail as he gets hiking, it feels better for this waist belt to kind of slide down a half an inch or an inch, and all of a sudden that's putting a lot of weight on his shoulder blades. Well, we don't want that. We want the weight on his hips. So at that point, and if this continues to kind of repeat itself, at that point you would want to take his torso adjustment and move up one rung. Now that goes in the same in the opposite. Let's say he's going along, he's got his hip belts on there, but he keeps getting a gap. That's how you turn. He keeps kind of getting a gap here, and there's almost no pressure on his shoulders, and it feels like it's rubbing in and stuff. At that point, that would be a time you'd want to lower your torso adjustment. So this is your starting point. On the trail, sometimes you get a little bit different feel, but for the most part, this is gonna work perfect for everyone. That's how you work your adjustment on your torso. So 2 other quick tips on using a backpack with a hood or an internal frame backpack. As you can see right now, this doesn't look great. The reason being, the backpack is not that full. Most of the stuff is sitting down here in the bottom, and so it's actually it feels like it's pulling him over backwards, because all the weight is hanging clear off of his back or really low and off of his back, right? You can see the hood, even though these straps are as tight as they go, It's fallen forward here, which makes it so that this looks terrible and it's pulling him over, like I say, which is why we've got this adjustment right here. Now this adjustment, you might not even notice this adjustment or have any issues with the adjustment when the pack is full. However, when it's not full, you will want to use this adjustment right here to pull this hood up, and against the back of your head right there. Not touching the back of your head, but up and tight right there, which will make the pack look better. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that right now. Let's have you look down. All right, so as you can see now, we've got the sides tight as well as this middle section right here. And now the hood is looking like it's back in its right perspective. You can see the logo, everything looks a lot better. However, we still have the problem where this isn't packed that full, and so everything's kind of sitting down back in this area. We purposely did this on the Rhyolite where we put all the straps on a 45-degree angle up, right? And the reason that we did that is it's gonna help pull the load up and into his back. So what you'd wanna do is come down here, take your compression strap, and snug that up and into his back there.
That's a lot better.
You can feel, see, he's saying he can feel the difference there. So let me do this kind of equally on both sides. Pulling that up and into his pack. And again, we're gonna do that up here as well. Tighten those ones up. And you can see how that snugged everything up and into his back now. We'll tighten this hood a little bit. And even though this is nice and loose, everything looks a lot better. It's a lot closer to his back, and it's also in an upward angle, which makes it much, much more comfortable for the trail. Thanks for tuning in and learning how you can size your backpack for your particular body style and torso length. We hope that you use these tips to go make some memories in the great outdoors soon.